Hi everyone, it's Anne here from Positively Papercraft. Now today I'm back with sort of a die cutting machine review, I suppose. I'm going to go through all the machines that I have, which I do have a fair few of them, but I'm going to sort of demonstrate them all, and then we're going to go through, well, I'm going to tell you which is my favourite machine and why, which I probably think a lot of you already know which one it is, but nevertheless we're going to go through them. So we'll get started with the first one. Okay, the first machine I'm going to go through is the Gemini Junior. I've had this machine for maybe a couple of years now, and I have to be honest, I don't use it. It is a good machine, there's nothing wrong with it. But I think what really sort of, I suppose, gets me is the warping of the plates. Now, you will find that on all of the electronic die cutting machines. I have to say it's not as bad on the Junior, only because I think they're smaller, so there's less area for them to warp. So I've got it plugged in. Now I'm going to use this same die on all of the machines because this die here, it is a beautiful die, but in my opinion, if you don't have the right machine, you will have to run it through a lot of times and it still might not cut a couple of the little circles. But we're going to try it. So it's that long since I've used this machine, I can't even remember. So I think it is a cutting pad, the plastic shim, the magnetic mat, then it's the paper, which I'll just trim a bit of this off actually. So it's the paper, the die face up. No, it's not. It's the die face up. Then it's the paper. Then it's the top cutting pad. Now let me check I've got this right, because I haven't used it for absolutely ages. Yeah. And then if it doesn't cut, we'll do the intricate die. So yeah, pad, cutting pad, plastic shim, magnetic sheet, die blade up, card, and then another cutting pad. So we'll give this a try. Okay. So now actually I think that has cut everything first time. As I said, I'm not disputing the machine, it's a very good machine. Yeah, that has cut everything. It's cut the whole entire die straight out, which is brilliant because some machines will struggle with this die. So, okay, I'm now embossing with the Gemini 3D folders. I struggle to get these to do it. It tells you in the booklet to use a cutting pad, magnetic shim, then it's your embossing folder with the card in. I'm just going to spritz the card with a bit of water because it's a 3D folder. Put it in, and then it's the plastic shim on top, but it won't work, I doubt. No. It just won't take it. I've tried it so many times. Unless you take away the magnetic folder. No, It just won't work. I can't get them to take these 3D folders, so I don't know. I think that's really one of the only things I don't like about it. Now, another thing to bear in mind is it won't take the big dies. Okay, you can't use these with Gemini. So we'll move on to another machine. Okay, the next one is another electronic one I have, which is the Sizzix BIGSHOT switch. Okay, now I'll be honest and tell you, I don't really like this machine. I do regret buying it, and I'm just being honest with you. You know, I don't want to lie and stuff about things. I bought this with my own money, and it's very, very heavy, very heavy. Not something you can carry around. And truthfully, I don't think the pressure is very good on this machine. But you know, it looks lovely. You open it up, you get all the plates and everything with it. Now, I haven't used mine much, and I stopped using it because I just can't deal with this warping of the plates. It's terrible, and I turn them all the time, and I just can't deal with it, so I've just put it away. So you get, it does tell you, you know, all the plate configurations for whatever you're using. So it's upside down. Now, one of the things that I don't like about it is it's telling you here, if you want to die cut intricate dies, you will need the precision base plate. Now, that's fair enough, but I would think for the price that you're paying for this machine, it's electronic, it should really have enough pressure, in my opinion, to cut them, and it doesn't. Now, if you buy this and you know you get it home and you want to cut all your dies and the intricate dies are not cutting, you've got to then go and spend another, you know, £30 or whatever on a precision base plate, and I don't really think that should be the case. That's just my opinion. So we're going to just go off a Thinlit. So the two platforms, we're going to use this same die again. So it's two platforms, then it's a plate, paper, and the die on the top. And then we will die cut this out. And I can see straight away it hasn't cut it. It's cut a lot of it, but not all of it, which was what the problem I had with when I first got it, which is what sort of knocked me off the machine a little bit. Yeah, it's cut. Like I say, a lot of them. But considering the pressure of the Gemini, see, it's starting to tear them because they haven't cut that well. I mean, it's cut in most places, but you can see there. It's not the cleanest of cuts really, but it is an intricate die, you know, there's no denying that. But as I said, it's saying to get a precision base plate, which is fair enough, but for the price of this machine, I really don't think you should have to. No, see, it's not cut them at all. It's the sides where it's struggled. So it is what it is, isn't it? But it didn't impress me, and the warping of the plates is absolutely terrible. Now, the 3D folders, it does do them really well. So that's just your base platform, the folder, spritz the card again, card in, folder, and then it's just one cutting pad on the top. So it does these really, really well, because when you're trying to cut these with a regular BIGSHOT or a FOLDAWAY, it can be quite tough to get them through sometimes. But it's obviously, there's nothing for you to do except push it through, and it does do them beautifully, but it's not enough incentive for me to get it out just for this, because it's so heavy and the plates just are really irritating me with how much they're warping, that I just can't, it's just not something I enjoy using. Now this takes the Bigs dies. I'm sure it does, I haven't used them in it, but I would imagine it would just be a cutting pad, paper, and then another cutting pad. So we'll try this. Yeah, and it cuts them perfectly. But do I regret buying this machine? In all honesty, yes, I think I do. Just because I know I won't use it now, and I don't know, it's just, it's big, it's heavy. It's not as noisy as the Gemini, I don't think, but it's this problem. It's so bad. Like, I haven't used it loads either, and I just thought, and after a few times they started warping really bad, and then so much so that I ended up getting, I think these are BIGSHOT plus pads or extended cutting pads, one of the two. I ended up getting a spare pair of them out, and because I just couldn't deal with it, and look at the state of that, it's just, it's not for me. But you know, it is a really good machine. I do think the pressure's a bit disappointing, because I struggled to cut a few of the dies as well, and as I said, I don't really think you should have to go and buy an extra plate. I think it should be able to manage it on its own, but that's just my opinion. So we will move on to another one. Okay, so I think probably most crafters have got a BIGSHOT. Yeah, this one, I got this one from Sizzix. Actually, I didn't pay for this one. Now, I don't use it a lot. I don't really use it at all, truthfully, and that is because it just doesn't compare to the BIGSHOT FOLDAWAY. That's the truth for me. That machine is just all I think anyone ever needs, apart if you want an A4 obviously, but anyway, so it's a good little machine. It's not too heavy. I've got the plates. Now, one thing that does irritate me with the BIGSHOT thin die adapter is it always kind of ends up being all horrible on the ends. I don't know why, they just do, and it doesn't affect it in any way. You can also get a magnetic platform, which I've got one, but you don't use the thin die adapter if you've got a magnetic platform. So let's have a look. Now we're going to use that same die again and see what this cuts like. So the same die, just on like that, and we will run this through. And no, it hasn't cut all of it, I don't think anyway, but we will have a look. I could be wrong. No, you see that there? It just hasn't cut some of it. Now I think what we might do actually is run it through again and see if that makes any difference. It's just finding the right way I put it through now, which I probably can't. No, never mind, I don't know. I mean, it would probably cut it if you ran it through a few times maybe. Or actually we can just try it again. There's still some places that it struggled to cut, mainly in the corners again. Here as well. Where did I see that? Yeah, it's not the cleanest of cuts again, but that is because I'm used to the BIGSHOT FOLDAWAY, which has the pressure. But don't get us wrong, it's a good little machine, and if you have a thin die, a precision base plate, there's nothing that really won't cut without the precision base plate on. But then again, it's another purchase that you've got to make. But I think if you do get a precision base plate for your BIGSHOT, there's nothing that you won't be able to cut with it. But you know, that's just the way it is. Now, embossing using 3D folders, it's really easy. It's just base platform and one cutting pad. So I will get that folder again, spritz it with water because it's a 3D folder. So one cutting pad, folder and paper or card, and then the top cutting pad. And it embosses that, no problem. These will also take the big dies, and for that it's just 2 cutting pads. So cutting pad, card, another cutting pad. Okay, cuts no problem. So as I said, it's a really good little machine, a really good machine, nothing wrong with it, except more intricate dies you will struggle, and for that you'll need a precision base plate. But as I said, you will very probably never see me using this, only because it just I can't help it. It's just the BIGSHOT FOLDAWAY is the only machine you will see me using, and that is genuinely because I love that machine. I have it ever since I first bought it. I had it before I started working with Sizzix when I used to do the demonstrations on creating craft. I had it before that, and everything I used to see on that show about the foldaway was the truth. It was my foldaway. They didn't buy it, I had it. I've still got it today. It's the white one that I use, and for me, I just haven't found a machine that compares with it. But as I said, that's you know, that's my opinion. So we're going to have a look at that one in a minute. Okay, so we're now going to move on to the BIGSHOT foldaway. Now, I do not have one bad word to say about this machine, and that is the truth. Again, this is mine. I bought this years ago. It's the one that I used to take on to create and craft, so I've had this quite a while. Now, it's not the heaviest of machines. It's a nice little compact one. You can press that little button, fold the handle up. Now that's how it comes. You don't have any handle to screw on these when they come. They just come like this, okay? So open the handle back out. It just opens up. Now these have little storage sort of compartments. You can store little tools in or whatever you want, and then you will click it closed like that, and that is basically it. It's dead easy. Now let me get the platforms. So it's just the same platforms. Now this machine, it is really compact and you can fold it away and stuff like that, which is great. It doesn't take up a lot of room, but that isn't why I love it. I do like it, but I love it for the pressure. It's the pressure. I have never known this machine not to cut anything. You don't use a precision base plate. No, why do I keep saying that? Yes, a precision base plate. You don't use a one with this machine. There's too much pressure anyway. You would probably break the roller in it, so you don't use a precision base plate. You don't need it, and that's the truth. It's just, if you watch my channel or you've watched us for a while, you will know whenever I die cut, I just grab this. It's the only machine that I use because just I haven't found anything else as good or better than it, for sure. So we're going to use that same die again. Card, die. And I'm going to run it through once. Now, it looks like it's all cut, but there is a couple of little bits there. But I know that if I just run that through again, that will solve that problem. You don't need any precision base plates or anything like that. As I said, you're not supposed to use them in this. So I'm going to run this through again because this is a very intricate die. So through again. And yes, that's cut every. Oh, it's cut double now, so it makes it look like we need glasses or something, but it does. I know it does. It cuts one or two passes and it cuts it beautifully. Now, embossing with the 3D folder, it's the same as the regular BIGSHOT. Spritz it with water. Base platform, one cutting pad, okay? As you can see, that embosses lovely. Now you also can use the big dies. It's just the same as before. It's two plates, okay? But truthfully, I just can't say one bad word about this machine. I mean, the only, I don't think there's never been any dies that don't cut. There is some dies that have had to take 2 or 3 times to run through, and that, well, there's a few dies, Tim Holtz's dies, the really intricate ones, they are really hard to cut, and even on this they take a couple of times, but on the regular BIGSHOT they wouldn't cut at all. But I don't know what it is, I love it. I love this machine, and that is the truth. It's small, it's compact. I mean, I never fold mine up, it's always out because I just grab it. But it's the pressure. I mean, Sizzix told me that this has more pressure than the BIGSHOT, the regular BIGSHOT, and I believe it does because, as I said, there's nothing that this thing won't cut, and it's just so reliable, and I love this machine. I do genuinely love it. That I've bought a black one for Christmas, which I'm gonna show you next. Alright, so if you watch my video on what I got for Christmas, I showed you that I bought myself the black foldaway. I threw the box away, but honestly, when it was in the box, it just comes like that. As I said before, there's no assembly to do with these. You don't have to do the handle. So that's exactly how it came. The same as before. These fold down. You can store your little things under there, and you just clip it together. It's no different, just it's black. That's the only thing. You get the base platform again, you get a black thin die adapter, and you get 2 cutting pads. Now I'm not going to use these because they're new, and I'm going to stick to the other ones. So where did I put them? I'm just going to stick to my ones from the other foldaway. So again, we're going to cut that die. I haven't got a lot of scrap card left, so, well, I have, but I just haven't got it ready, so I'll just put that on there, put this through. First time I've ever used this, and it's obviously a bit tighter because it's new. So 1 pass, yeah, that has cut everything perfectly. All the little corner bits. It's cut them all, which does not surprise us because it's just the best machine ever. You know, and the same for the emboss and everything like that, but I just can't speak highly enough of this machine. It's just the one for me, it always will be. And you know, if I really think, to be perfectly honest, all you really need in your craft room is this, if you can use a manual machine. If not, the Gemini Junior is really good, but for a manual die cutting machine, you can't beat the foldaway. The black one is so nice, and it was just my treat to me. So easy to fold up, and if you want to pop the little handle, you just press that little button and it goes round. But yeah, it's a nice light machine. But as I've said, that isn't my favourite thing about it. The favourite thing for me is the pressure of the machine. Plus it doesn't take up hardly any room. It's, you know, it's so light, it just compact, easy to use, and it does what it's supposed to do. So yes, this is my favourite machine, and I think a lot of you already know that. So we're going to move on to another one. Alright, this one is another Sizzix BIGSHOT, but it's the A4 machine. This is a limited edition pink one. I bought this myself. Now, brilliant machine, but it's very big and it's quite heavy. It's not that heavy, but I'll only use this if I have, you know, dies that require an A4 machine because they're too big or whatever. So it's very rarely used, but I wouldn't get rid of this. I think it's, you know, very handy to have. Now, you get the same sort of setup. You've got your base platform, the plus adapter A. So they go in there. Now, I use the plates for the switch. Remember I told you I had to use them, but I'm using extend and cutting pads. These are for the normal BIGSHOT, but you can still use them in this, so I'm just going to use these. I do have some more normal pads, but I don't know where they are. You also get a plus adapter B, like a kind of plastic thing, which I think is just for certain embossing folders and the older style Sizzix dies. I don't even think I've ever used this. So we're going to use that die again. So paper, pop the die on. Now I can see it's struggled to cut a few of them, but it is a very good machine. But again, intricate stuff, the pressure just isn't really there, where it does cut most things, but dies like this, it may struggle a little bit. It's only really a couple that it hasn't really cut, but you know, yeah, it is a good machine. I do like this machine. I wouldn't get rid of it, but as I said, for A4 things, that's all I use it for, and I never have any problems with it. Obviously it's a lot larger, it takes up more room, but it's the same thing. It will take any big dies with 2 cutting pads. The 3D embossing folders, it would just be the base pad and then the base plate and 1 plate on top, all the same kind of setup as you do have with the BIGSHOT and the BIGSHOT foldaway. But yes, brilliant machine, but those intricate dies you might have to keep running it through a few times. So we'll move on to another. Alright, the next one, this one, I bought this from Facebook, I think, probably in the beginning of the year. Not Facebook, eBay. A woman was selling it pretty cheap actually. It's never been used, still in the box, and I knew I was going to do this type of video eventually, so we're going to open this one together. Now this is the Spellbinders Platinum. It's the A5 machine because a couple of years ago I did buy the A4 one. I didn't get it new, I'm sure it was second hand, and I didn't like it at all. So I know a lot of people rave about this machine, so we're going to have a look. So you get all of your plates there. The handle, which you need to attach on these ones. Now, I like this. This is actually really dinky. So let's have a look. Yeah, so that's not heavy at all actually. So the handles are really easy. Just drop the little thing. So it will be, the little washer will go on the screw. We'll put that just on there as far as it goes in there, and then just tighten this up. And then this will go over like that, so it's dead easy. And keep that, because if you need to tighten the handle up on this or your BIGSHOT or whatever. So these come down, and basically that is it. But yes, it's a nice little dinky machine actually. So we're going to have a look at the plates. I would have thought there would have been a way to keep this handle up, but there mustn't be. Instructions, so that's your embossing plate, the rubber mat, your 2 cutting pads, and your platform. Now I think Spellbinders have released a sort of newer platform system really recently. So this is obviously the older platform style. But yeah, we're going to test this out. So I'm going to get that same die and the card, and I'll be straight back. Right, so it's telling me platform, cutting pad, card, die, cutting side down, and then another cutting pad. Whoa, that is so hard to turn. Wow, that was really hard. Unless because it's new, I'm not really sure. Let's have a look. Yes, and that has cut, I think it's cut all of it actually. Let's have a look here. And that's quite a thick card as well. It's like a sort of, not linen, but it's got like little textures in it. No, see, it's struggled with a little bit of it. But I would say that's actually pretty good. So that's cut that really well. Let's get these off. And there's nothing you can do about that, the imprintation of the die. You know, I know a lot of new crafters, you'll see them say, oh, I've just cut one die and it's ruined the plates. Yes, it looks like they're, you know, not very nice and ruined, but they're not. It's just the way it is. You can't do anything about it. But I do have a tip. So when you're using your plates, you know, obviously they get all marked and horrible. If you just get some really red hot water, some washing up liquid or something, and a scrubbing brush, or like a nail brush or a hard toothbrush, under red hot water, get your soap on and just scrub them. And I clean mine like that probably every couple of weeks, and it keeps them nice and clean. It gets all the little bits of paper out them. And sometimes what I do, obviously be very careful, is sometimes I boil the kettle and then I will just lay them in the sink and I will tip the boiling kettle water on them. And then when it's cooled a little bit, you can sort of manoeuvre them back into shape as well. And you can scrub all your little bits out. So that's what I do probably every 2-3 weeks on a lot of my plates. So I'm pretty impressed with that. Now I want to try a 3D folder again. So it's saying a 3D folder is platform, emboss and folder card, and then, oh, what's this? A 3D emboss and plate which is sold separately. Okay, so you can't, you have to buy something else. Right, well that's maybe why they've brought out this new system, this new plate system that they have. But yeah, I don't think you get... No, that's an embossing plate, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Okay then, so I don't know why it says that, never mind. So it's a platform, folder, paper, and this on the top. So I'll just grab the folder. Right, I've grabbed the folder again. I've just spritzed this with a bit of water again. Pop that in there. So folder, and then the embossing plate. I'll be very surprised if this goes through, just knowing how tight that die was before. But we'll see. Oh, that is not going to go through there. No way. I don't know, maybe it is a different plate. But then again, this plate is thicker than this, so I could try this plate. Oopsie. No, that's not going to go through either. I mean, I have heard people say that they struggle with 3D folders in this. I think that's, like I say, probably why they've brought out a new system for it. I don't know, but it's not going to take that. You would probably have to fiddle around and make your own sort of top plate, which once you find it, it's okay, but you know, it's just, I don't know, that's why I prefer the BIGSHOT FOLDAWAY and the BIGSHOT, because it's already there and it's all ready to go type of thing. But I have to say, the cutting side of this, I'm pretty impressed with it. I do like it. It's a lovely little machine. I don't like this. It's too fidgety, and I wish there was a way to just keep it up, but it doesn't look like you can, so I don't like that part of it. But you know, and I think this takes the Bigs dies as well. Yeah, it looks like it does. I'm sure someone's, I heard it did. But yeah, it's not a bad little machine at all. It is very compact. But like I say, this bit, I don't like this little handle thing here. I find that a bit off-putting, but other than that, I think it could be a good little machine. Whether or not it'll take over the BIGSHOT FOLDAWAY, I doubt it, if I'm honest. Nobody can pry me away from that machine. I love that machine. So yes, I think going through all of these, electronic die cutting machine would be the Gemini Junior. That is a really good machine. Manual machine, BIGSHOT FOLDAWAY, hands down. Just, there's nothing, in my opinion, that comes really close to that machine. I just love it. I'm not impressed with the Sizzix switch, and yeah, this is not a bad machine, but my first would be BIGSHOT FOLDAWAY, and then the Gemini Junior. Then it would probably be this, and then the other BIGSHOTs. That's what I would say, apart from the switch. But I hope you found it helpful, and maybe, you know, it's sort of giving you a bit more knowledge about maybe which machine's best for you or which one's not best for you. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. So thanks for watching, take care, and bye for now.